Hey, we had another request for some more PvP talk, so thought we'd go back in it and see some of the recent battles and the team. So you can see my defending team hasn't actually changed since the last video I put out here. It's been an incredibly effective team. I think that since I started using this team, probably a week or so ago, I've only lost one battle, and that battle was to a group that was 4 or 5 levels higher and had all 5-star characters, including 5-star IGOROK. I don't remember the rest of the team, but it was a pretty nasty looking team. So they won, but I feel like they earned it. So I'm going to show some of the battles. There'll be one defensive battle, and then the rest are offensive here, but it's been going pretty well, so let's take a look. And we're going to fast forward through those loading times to save a little bit of time. As I mentioned, they're all the same level that we're on, so it's a good matchup here. They do have 2 slow characters, and we've got both of our fasts that are going to go first. So we get Blade Storm in there. A couple of critical hits. You really end up getting a lot of critical hits, it feels like, from Black Diamond, and I think that's going to go up all the more. I haven't yet fully ascended her, or even gotten her to the second ascension, where she gets a boost to her crit rate, and the crit rate for all light characters. The nice thing here is that we get to go through all 4 of these characters and their Mass Effect spells before the other player even gets a turn. A lot of spirit-based attacks don't do very much damage against Chief NubNub, but those physical ones certainly do. So they gave up when they got to that point. After we'd gone through the round, they just had Stone Fist left with that sliver of health, so they knew they weren't going any further. Like I said, few people really even tried to attack this team, and the few that do don't seem to end up working out for them that well. Alright, let's look through some of these attacks then. Okay, so here I'm still trying to get a good level kind of differential for an added bonus there. We'll go ahead right into this one. So one of the first things that I noticed with their team was that they didn't have any fast characters, which helps out for a couple reasons, but it confirms that I'll be able to get off my fast attacks before taking any damage. They also only had Tsumi that was going to have a huge amount of threat for us. You see we got lucky with that crit. Even if we hadn't though, after the 2 attacks, Willow would be able to take him out. The only time that I haven't been able to take out Tsumi with the combination of those 2 area effect and Willow Swift's first sniper shot is if they also have Willow, because Willow has a 20% increase to health that she provides all nature allies, and that can make a big difference, especially with Tsumi, and that's one of the reasons that I've had him live through some of the attacks I've put on before. And realizing that now, I can go in and not have nearly as much trouble, because if I see that Willow has been included in that party, it makes me think twice, or at least make sure I've got a better plan for it. So if you can get down to Cruel King Bramble, you know, he's got that great buff for the whole team, but he's not all that dangerous on his own. So characters like him and Yokozuna, you don't want to leave them early in the game. If you can take them out, that's great. But if not, if you can take out everybody else and they're left alone, then they don't have a lot of threat either. Okay, well I changed it up a little bit for this attack. I think this is going to keep things interesting. For most of the attacks I've been doing lately, I'm using my all-fast team. Here, I'm going against a team that's almost entirely an all-fast character team. They've got Tsumi, but everybody else is going to go in the first round before I could possibly go with my fast team. Now, if I'm fighting someone like this, I don't want to bring my fast characters because they've got really low health, really low defense, and I know I'm going to lose some before they even get a chance to attack. So I brought in, this is usually actually my campaign team, and it's a fairly beefy squad. I've now got Tsumi up to 4-star. That just happened yesterday, and I've really been enjoying that. So I get the core of the team to hang on, and they don't have a lot of health, but after the Goblin Dance Party, it really boosts their attack, and he's armored, so he had some of the best health out of all of them. I was able to do the Polar Pounding, and that froze Tsumi, which was one of the most important parts, and then Soul Shred with only about 35% of the health left on Tsumi, on our Tsumi, took out all then other than Shadow Blade. So we don't appreciate those shurikens, but with 3-on-1, it doesn't take many hits to take Shadow Blade out. He's got that dodge on, which makes it take a little longer, but still not a lot of threat when we're down and we still have 3 players going. For this next team, again I used my main campaign attack team. I found this group that was well under level below. So they had their character level was very high, but they weren't keeping their team up to that full max level. So that this was still a 15 trophy fight. Winning this battle was going to give me 15 trophies, and yet I've got a 6th level lead over their highest characters. So with all those multipliers going on, we lost Cruel King Bramble early on. But the nice thing with this 4-star Tsumi, he's going to be down, say, 55-60% health, and going to be able to do a lot of damage on that first turn. If you've got 6 levels above, you can just about guarantee that every character is going to be frozen. If they don't dodge it, they're frozen. That does make a big difference on your level difference between landing those status effects. And if you've got that big gap like that, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to work out. So we only had to go through those 2 characters, didn't even get over to NubNub, but it worked out really well. Again, keep an eye out for that. You've really got to check every one of the opponents you've got up there. Just because they have a player level that's very high compared to yours, they may not be keeping their team fully leveled up. And then on the flip side, make sure that you are keeping your defending team all the way leveled up for every character, if at all possible. So this is our last battle for this group. I'd like to point out, I really only have 2 teams, maybe a little bit more variation than that I can bring in on the offensive side. I've mentioned before only having enough experience in gold to keep, mostly experience at this point, to keep 6 to 8 characters at full level. So if you've only got those, part of the decision making is choosing the right team to go against. So I wanted to point out a few things again with this team as I was choosing them. So it's about 2 levels down, or 2 levels down for all of their characters from mine, so that's a benefit. They only had Masuta as a fast character, which meant they would do damage to our team, but it's very unlikely they would take anyone out. At the same time, they had Alexandros on their team with damage reflection, so I know they're not going to do any major damage from him on the first turn. The only real concern for me was Bovus. Bovus El Doro is a very powerful defender to have because he's going to push back all those area effect spells for any normal or slow characters, and that can cause us a lot of trouble. So my goal, even if Lady Nimriel hadn't have been kind of critted out by the 2 area effect spells that we had for our team, was going to be to take out Bovus and leave Lady Nimriel. Luckily, we got lucky on that one and we got them all out, and it made the whole battle very easy. That's all I really wanted to show for this one. Just kind of a quick update. There's still, it is much more challenging now. I would say PvP is more challenging, and in some ways that's probably a good thing. It was getting to be so that the offensive side was very easy and defending was very hard. I think they've evened that out a lot more now. You definitely, as you move up, are going to need to have some kind of fast team so you can vary the people that you put in to take into account other groups that you're going to be battling. So those would be, I guess, my biggest comments. Again, for this defending team, I talked about this a little bit before, but the goal with this team is that we've got these 2 fast characters that can both do area effect spells or multi-person attacking spells, and they're really there to deter other all-fast teams. Before I put this team into use, I had a lot of all-fast character teams coming in and beating my relatively strong, all kind of normal speed character teams. And so to push them away from doing that, I put in these guys because collectively there's a fair chance that if an all-fast character team came and we get even 1 crit from one of the attacks on those 2, we're going to take out 1 or 2 of the players on that fast team before they even get a chance to attack. And that severely weakens their team. And then Tsumi as well, if they don't take him out, if there's a fast character team, they've got area effect then, and they don't take him out, then he's going to respond with a lot of damage. So that's another reason why they're probably not attacking anymore. And then IGOROK, obviously a great all-around defender with that polar pounding that does a lot of damage, but even more importantly, freezes everyone that's on that opposing team. And we've got is it Selwyn the Enduring. He's got a very similar skill, which makes him, you know, another great candidate. The downside, though, is his health pool isn't nearly as large, and he isn't armored, so he's taking a lot more. You know, he has lower defense, and he's not armored, which is further decreasing that. So just a lot of things that makes this particular party really good. There's a lot of variations, even if you didn't have these characters. I would say that Tasumi is always really powerful and a good deterrent for certain types of teams. Bovus El Doro is another great one to have in there. Yokozuna is still a great one to have in there. And then, you know, you've got a couple others you could switch on and off and have really good success as well. So that's all I've got for this. Thanks again. Let me know if there's anything else you wanna see coming up. And thanks for watching.